Welcome to Snooze Worthy, a podcast by Parenting Practice of Colorado, your window into the world of pediatric sleep, where we explore the science behind sweet dreams, effective sleep teaching techniques, and all the intriguing nuances of your child's slumber. I'm your host, Lindsay Birchfield.
And I'm Paige Legault. Together, we're here to guide you through the labyrinth of parenting, offering insights, strategies, and science-backed advice to make parenting during those early childhood years not just manageable, but truly memorable.
As pediatric sleep specialists, we've seen the transformational power of sleep in countless families.
And because parenting is a journey, we won't stop at sleep. We'll provide you with valuable parenting tips for every aspect of early childhood, from managing tantrums to fostering creativity and hitting those all-important milestones.
So whether you're a seasoned parent in need of a sleep overhaul or a new parent preparing for the joys and challenges of early childhood, Snooze Worthy is your trusted resource. Join us as we unravel the science of sleep, share practical advice, and make parenting truly snooze-worthy.
To Snooze Worthy, I'm Paige, your co-host, and I'm here with my partner, Lindsay. And today we're diving into a topic that's top of mind for many parents, back to school and sleep.
Yeah, that's right, Paige. And as the school year begins, it's just so crucial to establish healthy sleep habits and to stay on top of those common school bugs, especially, right?
Mm-hmm.
So let's just kick things off today by talking about how to get your child's sleep routine back on track.
Absolutely. The transition from summer to school can be challenging. Children need a consistent sleep schedule to help them adjust. So we're looking to start by gradually shifting that bedtime earlier by 15 minutes each night for about a week before school starts, and then waking them up at the same time every morning to help set that circadian rhythm. And you want to make sure the time that you pick in that early morning hour is enough time in the school year to eat, get dressed, load in the car, and actually get to your school. So don't pick 15 minutes before you need to be out the door, because that's going to bite you. But try to offer breakfast a half an hour after they wake up. And then we always love 10 to 15 minutes of sunshine right when they get out as well. And try to limit exposure to screens for the first 90 minutes of being awake to, again, work with that circadian rhythm.
Absolutely. We definitely, like you said, don't want too small of a window. We all know what can happen with those morning rush hour. So love that idea. And really our second step is to tighten up the bedtime routine. So we're going to tighten up that morning routine, then we're going to focus on bedtime. And one of the best things we can do is actually move dinner to a time that it will take place during that school year, and then include a bath or a shower as often as you can, right, during that school year to, again, just help your child's circadian rhythm start. You might not be totally familiar, but eating and when you eat has a huge impact on your circadian rhythm as well. And so when we think about timing of food, it does matter. And so think about when you will be eating on that consistent routine during that school year, which will really help too. And, you know, for a lot of families, right, the summertime is a time where there's going to be some flexibility. Bedtime can get later, meals can become less predictable, and sometimes you even skip the bath time altogether. I mean, I can say my family and my kids have done that multiple times this year. And so just know that when you do get back into the school routine, consistency is going to be really key to help bring all of this together. And so the week before your child actually starts school, you want to make sure that you go back and you start doing this to prep for that change. So don't do this on day one of school, right? Take 1 to 2 weeks before you're about to go back to school so that you can start prepping them for what's to come.
Yeah, absolutely. We've definitely skipped a bath or two this summer, Lindsay.
Mm-hmm.
And
Just
let's
get into bed.
Yeah, night. And let's not forget about staying ahead of those common school bugs. We all know going back indoors and being around a new pool of people opens the door for opportunity for those bugs to kind of land. And so we love to support our children with another little routine when they come home from school to help eliminate any of those bugs as much as we possibly can. We know some of them are going to get hit, but maybe we can derail them a little bit longer. But number one for me, what I do when my daughter gets home is we take off our shoes, we change our clothes, and we wash our hands. And 99% of the time we're washing our face as well. We're still toddler and we're coming home with dirt and
even preschool or
grime.
even almost kindergarten.
Yeah, I'm
You
like,
got to clean
oh,
that face.
you painted today. I love that. Blue. And just making sure they're nice and clean, not wearing those shoes in the house to track those germs around. And then we also encourage to make sure that they are getting the same amount of sleep each night. So if you know your kiddo does need 10 hours, try to set that schedule up to accommodate a 10 hours so they don't get burnt
Mhm.
out or they're more susceptible to illness, right? We all know, well, Lindsay and I know, you might not know, but your immune system builds and repairs as you sleep. So if you have nighttime wake ups or you don't get the proper amount of sleep your body needs, that function's not going to happen as best as it
Mhm.
possibly could, right? And then another thing that we really like to do at home is making sure we're eating good foods, like real nutritionally dense foods. So that afternoon snack and dinner are pretty important, and just thinking through, if I have to pack my kiddos lunch, what am I going to send so that way it fills them up? Good protein, good healthy fat, some carbs, all that stuff that they need to
Mhm.
be successful is going to be huge as well. I know when I eat junky, I feel junky, and I don't want my kids to feel that way, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, we always have a battle in the Birchfield family about that lunch, and Riley always wants that Lunchable. That's all
Oh,
she wants
yeah.
is a Lunchable.
Mm-hmm.
And we have a rule in our house: you can have one Lunchable a semester. So you
Great.
get your Lunchable, one Lunchable a semester. Not a fan of all the stuff in there, but you
No.
have to be lenient sometimes, right?
Yeah.
I mean, the kids are kids, so
Yeah.
we meet in the middle,
Yeah.
compromise.
We
You
can
can
have
do
some
that
fun.
even with your kids.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
exactly. And again, we just need to really remember that one of the most important things here is going to be consistency, right? And
Yeah.
even being consistent on the weekends. So I know that can be definitely hard, especially if it's been a long, busy week. If you can keep that wake up time and bedtime the same on the weekends, it really is so helpful with, maintaining their internal clock and just making that transition back to school much, much smoother.
Yeah.
Also, too, that might mean within a half an hour of their weekday schedule, if for some reason you needed to be a bit more flexible. So let's say you did have a night during the weekend where you were out and about, and you really want to still strive to get your child in bed within 30 minutes of their normal time.
Mm-hmm.
Usually, that 30-minute buffer, one way or another, won't have that big of an impact. But we just want to be mindful that if we're going to be a little bit more flexible, if things are going to change, just really try to keep things within that 30-minute time frame for what you were doing at school. And it's
Mm-hmm.
especially going to be important, right, when you are in the first few weeks of trying to do this. So consistency up front is going to be key. Obviously, if you're in the middle of the school year and you have a late night here or there, totally acceptable. We understand you have to be flexible here, but at the same time, the more consistent you can be in the beginning, it will really be helpful. And
Yeah.
with this consistency, right, it will really help them to settle and to fall asleep within that 10 to 20 minutes that we're looking for, right? If you are really wondering if your child's sleep schedule is meeting their needs, we want to look at how quickly or how long it takes them to fall asleep at bedtime, too. And
Mm-hmm.
so, ideally, we're really always shooting for about 10 to 20 minutes for them to be able to fall asleep. And if we're keeping to schedule, they should be, falling asleep within that time frame and then waking up happily for you each morning at that same time.
Yep. Don't love a grumpy wake up. Oof.
Oh,
No.
that's tough.
So, a little bit of housekeeping on some couple small tips that can also go a long way is that nutritious dinner that we talked about earlier, right? Really making sure they're nice and full before bed, and then some wind down time before bed. So, think through those, especially those older kiddos who are in school later in the day and then they have extracurriculars after school. Be cognizant of how much of that you're stacking in Monday through Friday, because they do need rest and they do deserve to have some downtime, whether that is screens, books, art, outside time. It doesn't matter what it is, but we always want to give them that opportunity to settle back in. I definitely love some downtime.
Absolutely. And
And
it makes a difference
it
if you
really
have it
does.
versus don't have that.
We don't want to burn anybody out, you or your children, right? And then the screen rule is at least an hour before bedtime. We want to shut everything off so that blue light can't interfere with sleep. And for older kids, we also want to make sure their actual bedroom environment is screen free. So this would include a cell phone, a phone watch, an Apple Watch, whatever, and making sure that they can't have access to that and disrupt that sleep or be up later than they should be, right?
Yep, exactly. And for any parent out there that just feels like they need a little extra support, either preparing for the school year, or let's say you're, 2, 3, 4 weeks into the school year and you really are struggling, we are always here to chat with you. We have, 30-minute consults available. We can get on the phone, we can troubleshoot with you, and we can help get everything back on track and on schedule if you need to. So you can always feel free to go to the link in our bio and you can book a sleep evaluation call with any one of us. We know that that transition from summer to school can be difficult, but none of our kids should be losing out on any sleep while we are going through that transition. So always feel free to reach out if you have any questions at all.
Absolutely. That's all for today of this episode of Snooze Worthy. We hope these tips help you and your little ones transition back to school with ease. We are in the same boat as you. We will be doing the
We
same
are.
stuff. So, everybody, hold on. We'll get there. But join us next time, and we'll be talking about the essentials of bedtime routines, schedules, and consistency. One of our favorite topics.
Yes. And until then, sleep well, stay healthy.